Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV, where of course on a weekly basis we take a look at what's happening in the world of club rugby. Nice to have you along. Big thanks of course to our partners on board with us, Score Energy Drinks. Remember, you can win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks during the course of the show. And of course MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Well, it's been a very busy couple of days, couple of weeks. Clubs are talking about training, are talking about friendly fixtures, and of course we know that there's possibly some sevens rugby coming up later in the year. Well, it's interesting also to see how clubs have been finding different ways to stay active, and of course tonight we'll take a look at what the clubs have been up to. We're going to, in a second or so, be catching up with the Western Province Rugby Women's Collective, who of course we're celebrating Heritage Day at Newlands. We're going to show you some of the highlights. We're also going to take a look behind the scenes with the DHL Western Province Rugby Under-20 side. They of course had a good win over the Sharks last week. And then we go to training, where we speak to some of the players and coaches at Unimil as well as at False Bay. And of course, as you know, some of the clubs busy playing friendlies at the moment. And this past weekend we went to watch Fora play against Police. But on the cards for us right now, it was of course a celebration of Heritage Day at DHL Newlands this past Friday. Very exciting, fantastic to see everybody there. I think there was more than 10 teams, or at least 12 teams on the field, with 10 players per team. And certainly looked like they had a lot of fun as they were playing a bit of touch rugby. Let us show you what happened on the day.
It's going fantastically well. I mean, we have about 12 girls teams here. Not all of them have played touch rugby before, but I mean, it's an easy sport to get into, and the girls are having a fantastic time. You see, it can be intimidating for them to just go into the 15s or the 7s. So this is an easier way, no tackling, no line-outs. If you pan across, no line-outs, no scrums, all semi-contact for them to just ease into the 15s and the 7s game. We tried, because touch rugby is a sport where you can have girls and boys or males and females playing in the same team. Our look on things and our view of things is very integrated. It's our teams play together, and it's all about women's development as well, because we have women's going to the World Cup. There's a touch rugby World Cup, and we sent our last team in 2019. We had women's over 30s playing, women's mixed over 30s playing with guys, our women's open going. So it's very women's focused, and our women's teams do very well.
We're from Stellenbosch. It's exciting for the new girls to play rugby, touch rugby, and to play on Newlands itself, and be part of this tournament for awareness for us within the rugby circles. So it was great, and we enjoyed the games, and the atmosphere was great. And we want to see how we can grow the game and bring new talent. We saw some talent here, and there is still raw talent, and we as old players playing for years, it would be good to have new talent and to develop them. It's great to be the champion and present Stellenbosch here on Newlands, and this tournament after the Literacy Day, it's great knowing that VP is involved, and we can create a safe haven for girls to come and play rugby and get developed. And it's a good opportunity for new talent to get here and see how things are done, and have role models that is playing and can just teach the game. And we want women and girls to know that there is opportunities to get involved. Even if you don't play, come be a ref or administrator and just be part of a bigger picture.
So this event is actually a culmination of the Western Province Women's Collective.
Yes.
And we have so many teams out here today. We have 12 teams in total, and the girls are really enjoying it. As you can see, it's a day of 6 touch rugby. but it's a real day of enjoyment for the girls. They're out here in their droves and they're loving it. There's so much fun happening. And we're just grateful to be able to have rugby at Newlands, of course, albeit that they're playing touch rugby at Newlands. But it's just wonderful to see the girls out here doing what they love. And of course, during the time of COVID, it's just great that we can be here at a time like this. I think it's really important for them to be able to be playing rugby here today. It's really inspirational for them. It gives them hope for the future. At a time, you know, that we're faced with a pandemic and all of that, it gives them hope, it gives them inspiration. And of course, some of these girls want to make a career out of rugby. And so to be playing at Western Province, you know, at Newlands, it's really inspirational for them. And we certainly hope that we can offer them more days like this, where we can get girls together from different regions, different districts, and to give them an opportunity to obviously not only develop the game, but develop themselves within the game and to give them hope.
My naam is Adele Ekron. Ek is hierso van Gordons Bay Pioneers af. Dit is vandag vir ons verskriklik lekker hierso. Dit is 'n groot opportunity wat ons het en ons meisies geniet dit vreeslik. Van ons meisies is hulle heel eerste keer wat hulle touchy speel vandag. Meerderheid van hulle kom ons maar van die WP af en so aan. So ons is maar gewoond aan 15s speel en 7s en so, nie touchies nie.
My name is Nandipa Pamela. I'm a representative from Blue Jet. I'm here today. We brought our ladies to come and be a part of this occasion today. It's a nice occasion here. There is a lovely environment. With most of the girls that we brought, it's new girls. Obviously, we from Kailicha, then we groom them from school level, and then they move up to the senior level.
They're just arriving with the sun on the field. The girls were absolutely so excited to come and play on Newlands. All of them had been in the stands since growing up and now getting a chance to play on the actual field. Awesome opportunity for all women in Cape Town. There's lots of opportunity. I think there's a lot of girls that have always wanted to play since they were young, and now opening up spaces like False Bay, it gives them a chance to actually try it out, see whether or not they want to be players, coaches, referees. So I'm hoping that other areas like Stellenbosch, they get going, and even Strandside. The numbers are there, we just need to start the clubs.
No, I think from our side, you know, it's just been a fantastic day. I think there was a bit of stress at the start, and I think, you know, the build up to this event and that day has been phenomenal. The amount of, you know, goals and the interest and the talent on the day is fantastic, and that there's a number of goals, I think, from our side that we've seen that, you know, that have potential, have talent and that there. So I must say this is something that is a start, and it's something that definitely will grow and, you know, go from the side. And I think a lot of these girls coming out today, I think this is something different, something new. We normally have provincial matches, we normally have, you know, test matches playing, but it was good now to have, you know, the local girls coming out, the community coming out here to Newlands, and I think this is what it's about, bringing the community here to Newlands, and yeah, it's been really fantastic. I think especially with the ladies, one of the key things is development, and, you know, with a little bit of support and a little bit of, you know, commitment and that there, I must say you can see the numbers and the commitment is there. So I think from Western Province's side, you know, the work that we're doing has been fantastic, and I think also from the champions that we've identified, you know, I must commend our women's collective, who basically have offered their time and who've afforded, you know, and afforded a lot of these girls opportunity to come out here to Newlands. It is Pride Day, it's Heritage Day, but they offered their time to be here today. And, you know, also with our sponsors, you know, Six Guns, it was great to have them also on board. I think, you know, at least providing a meal for the ladies when they leave the tournament and that there. So hopefully on this we can just grow and the talent is there, as we said, and in terms of development, this is all in terms of growing the sport and looking at the women's collective in terms of how we can grow it even bigger and better.
Welcome back, folks. There we go. It was a great day. Sun was shining. People were enjoying themselves. Certainly the ladies were having a lot of fun, and really that was great to see rugby action on the field at DHL Newlands. That really is fantastic. And of course, hats off to the women's collective for making sure that there continues to be the growth of women's rugby in Western Province. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, it's time for us to catch up with the Western Province Rugby under-20 side. Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about club rugby and the extensions. Of course, as you know, we always go behind the scenes with the DHL Western Province rugby sides when we can. And currently it's the DHL Western Province under-20 side. Well, they had a good result at Newlands against the South Sea Sharks under-20 side last week, coming away with a victory there, 48 points to 12. We managed to speak to some of the players at their practice: Kate Croy, Liam Kloosman, Meyer Retief, Matthew Kunrad, amongst others, spoke to us behind the scenes.
Ek moet sê daai lockdown en hierdie onsekerheid van ons is nou matriek en ons wil nou ons lekker rugby speel. En ons dink ons gaan speel, ons hou aan oefen. Maar later begin mense voel dis vir niksie, maar om nou op die ou end te kan sê maar daai oefening was dalk vir iets gewees. Ja, aan die einde is nogals om te werk. Hulle sê nee, daar's nie skare nie en so daar's nie reg homeground advantage nie, maar ek voel dis nog steeds jy moet reis en jy moet dis uit jou comfort zone en maar ons was lekker gelukkig geweest dat ons nou by die huis kan bly en jy gaan net speel en dit is definitief 'n voordeel geweest. Kyk, ons het in die Lions ek dink ons het alright gespeel, maar daar's baie goeders wat ons geweet het ons kan aan werk. So dis goed geweest dat ons kan na dit kyk en in daai selfe week werk ons aan dit en dis alles nog vars in die kop en ja. Ek moet sê in die begin ons het vir hulle 'n bietjie probeer sag maak, ons het vir hulle gemol en geskram en so ek dink die telling het maar 'n bietjie naby gebly tot in die eerste helfte so. As gevolg van die gameplan wat ons gespeel het, maar later dink ek het hulle op wiele begin afval en ons kon vir hulle 'n bietjie weier vat en 'n bietjie meer risky rugby speel wat die telling net uit reach het gebring het vir hulle.
Yeah, it is nice, especially for me. I almost had no rugby last year because I was at the Rugby Academy, Western Province Rugby Academy, and just coming here and just playing. For me, I've had a whole year of rugby, which kind of makes up for last year, which has been great. Yeah, definitely it was a bit easier coming in, I think, than guys who haven't been playing. But also for me now, it's a bit tougher, I would say, because the body is also a bit more tired. Yeah, no, it was great. Our game against the Sharks was quite a tough opponent. They lost closely to the Bulls and the Lions, I think. And I think for us to just go out and just put a dominant performance like that really helps, especially with the semi-finals, and hopefully we can go to the finals from that confidence as well. Yeah, no, it'll be great to travel, get out of Cape Town a bit, and also just to play there. Obviously, not everyone gets to play all over South Africa, so it'll be a great opportunity for the lads just to get out, play in Bloem as well.
Here we go.
Nee, ek dink dit was 'n goeie wenaar het ons conference 'n bietjie opgetel het toe ons draw teen die Lions het ons teruggekom na die drawing board toe en die coach het ons laat weet ons speel teen 'n goeie span, so ons het niks underestimate, ons het gaan probeer ons bes te gee en die resultate te deurgekom, ja. Ja, ek dink dit het baie gehelp want as jy 'n week af het dan jy weet jy raak spesiaal relaxed want jy kan die weekie afvat, maar ek dink toe was dit een goeie span, ons speel weer teen 'n nog 'n span, ek dink dit het vir ons gehelp om toe kan sê level up en ons foute vinniger reg te maak, sodat ons nou nie hoef te worry aan die einde van die kompetisie nie. Ek dink aan die begin was dit 'n bietjie scrappy. Ons het defense het ons bietjie in die drang gelaat. Dit was meer van 'n tafeltennis tipe ding, ons score, hulle score en dit so aangegaan. Maar ek dink in die tweede helfte, ek moet sê ons conditioning was baie goed deur die hele kompetisie. Ek moet vir Velo Sangweni sy dues gee, want ons elke keer in die laaste draf ons die hele span, al die meeste van die spanne uit, maak nie saak waar ons speel nie. So ek dink ons conditioning was 'n groot sterkpunt vir ons die naweek. Nee, elke keer as ons by Nieuweland speel is dit 'n spesiale tyd. Jy weet nooit of dit jou laaste game by Nieuweland is nie. So ons speel maar elke game asof dit ons laaste is, en coach Jerome laat ons weet wat dit bedoel om eintlik daar te speel. So ons vat dit altyd in ons harte soos ons in die games toe gaan, en dan is altyd 'n eer om daar te kan speel. Vir een van ons was al 'n droom van weet jy hoe lank af ja so. Nee, ek dink die rus is wel verdien. Ons uiteindelik môre so half 'n braai, 'n span braai, so bietjie die span meer connected kry, en hy is altyd lekker. Maar ek dink ons moet die week met ons probeer al die wrinkels in ons gameplan probeer uit-iron, en dan gaan ons net van strength to strength gaan, ja.
Yeah, I think obviously when we played the Lions, we had a bit of a shaky start. Also playing at high altitude was quite difficult, and we knew that we were going to really bring the fight. So I think half-time, we just had a couple of chats with the coaches, and as soon as the bench came on, we really could kind of bring that confidence boost, and just to really install some belief in the team, to actually show this is what we can do, this is the way that we can play, and just to kind of get the result that we want. Yeah, we knew obviously we started the competition with 2 easier games, and we knew that for the next couple of weeks it was going to be a hard mental shift, especially playing some of the best teams in the competition. So just doing that and just week in and week out working hard, we kind of just could recover well, and also just assess and kind of fix the mistakes that we made from the previous week, and just to better ourselves as we go forward into competition. Yeah, I think it's always a privilege playing at Newlands. We know there was talks about it being demolished, and we just kind of grateful for the opportunity to just train there and to play there as well. So I think knowing that one day the coaches told us that we can speak about this in future to our future kids, future generations, it just makes it so much special, because I know for most of us we probably had some special memories there, whether watching Western Province or the Stormers, or even getting an opportunity to play there from high school rugby. We knew the Sharks were going to really come at us. I mean, I think they came in with, they have nothing to really lose. And seeing that it was home ground advantage, they kind of came to the game as underdogs. So we started a bit shaky. I think there was also a lot of nerves in between the guys. Things just kind of didn't go away. But as time progressed and as the game went up, the guys really did well just to keep composed, to follow the game plan. And we could see that the Sharks were getting tired, and as soon as we could build on that momentum, the tries and the mistakes from the Sharks kept on coming, and it just kind of built that belief in the team even more. Yeah, like I always say, it's always a privilege just playing in the blue and white hoops, and I think just to end off the competition on a good note, and just to also secure a home semi-final. I know that if we manage a bonus point against the Cheetahs, we'll definitely secure a nice home semi-final against Newlands, and then looks like the final will probably be either away, depending on who's in the first semi-final clash.
On the DHL Western Province Rugby under 20 side doing really well. Of course, a good win for them then over the under 20 or Cell C under 20 Sharks. And yeah, good stuff. And great to see that the guys stay in good spirits. Great result then, of course, playing at Newlands this past Friday, or at least on Heritage Day. Right, folks, well, of course, as you know, on a weekly basis, we take a look at what's happening at MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. There you can see it in all its glory behind me on the screen here. So if you drive down the N1 on the right-hand side, just have a look for this big light that says MChem 24-hour pharmacy. It's right there on the corner of Durban Road and N1. Very accessible. Of course, there's free parking. There's a coffee shop upstairs, clinics inside, helpful staff. The nursing sisters are always great. And of course, don't forget you can get your flu vaccination. We've been telling you about that for weeks now, to get your flu vaccine at MChem. Don't hesitate, don't wait, get down there. Of course, you don't need to make any bookings, just simply get down to MChem and say you need to speak to one of the nursing sisters and get your flu vaccine. Of course, right, folks, as you know, on a weekly basis, we also take a look at some of the public reviews that have come in from MChem. Customers who visit MChem 24-hour pharmacy are able to go onto Facebook, are able to go onto Google and do a review of their service at MChem. And of course, as you know, at MChem's always aiming for the gold standard. So great product quality, fantastic prices, and of course, really, really great service. This week's public review comes in from Anarika Duplessis, gave MChem 24-hour pharmacy a 5-star rating and goes on to say, always know what they're doing, such great people and such great advice. So thanks, Anarika, for that fantastic review. And folks, yes, then just of course a reminder, MChem open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Fantastic service. So really it is really great for you, and they're always there for you. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we're going to carry on talking about what's happening in the world of club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking club rugby. Right, well, as you know, some of the clubs have returned to training, and it really is fantastic to see that many of the players are back on the park, and it's certainly inspirational. Well, Unimil is one of the clubs that is back on the park. The players are back. They're back at training. They've, of course, been focusing on quite a bit of gym activity, at least the CrossFit activity, for a while. And you remember that we spoke to head coach Gareth Jordan a few weeks ago, who was telling us that they were just not quite ready to get back on the park. Well, the players are back at training now, which is really fantastic. They're busy still doing the gym sessions, and they're, of course, also now doing the field sessions where they're splitting it on the field, and they're just happy to get back on the park. And of course, it's really great to hear that the coach, or at least Gareth will tell you that they're focusing on the person and reducing the pressure and stress of the players by just getting back on the field. And of course, that for them, the important thing is to keep the club doors open. But here's the training session that we went to a few days ago with a Unimil. You can hear for yourself.
Ja, definitief. As ek dink daai paar games wat ons gespeel het, was eintlik maar net 'n lusmakertjie geweest. So dit is baie moeilik met hierdie stop-start besigheid. Ek meen jy begin net 'n bietjie momentum bou en dan kry jy weer die slegte nuus van moet oorbegin. So ja, dis baie moeilik om positief te bly in die tye, maar ons moet maar deurdruk. Yes, definitief ja, die CrossFit wel baie. Om die ouens bietjie bymekaar te kry. Ek weet dis moeilik vir die ouens om positief te bly daai tye. Die ouens is nie altyd lus om te kom oefen as hulle nie weet daar's 'n bietjie aksie vir hulle nie. So dis hoekom die nommers ook maar 'n bietjie aan die swakker kant lyk nou, maar natuurlik jy wil tog ook hierdie veld vat met 'n klomp spelers en dan kom dit weer op slegte nuus af op die einde van die dag van weer positiewe geval in die klub. Almal moet lockdown vir 2 weke of iets so. Ja, ons moet net hou by die reëls en regulasies, so ons try maar ons bes om aan die gang te bly. Ja, kyk, ek is self 'n ou wat hou van 'n bietjie aksie. So as die ouens hoor as 'n veldsessie, almal is bereid om te kom. Die ouens wat nou wel kan en so wat se omstandighede dit toelaat. So ja, ek weet die ouens geniet die touches. Die eerste vraag wat hulle vra as hulle sê ons kom veld toe, dan sê ouens gaan daar touches wees en dan tweede ou wat wil weet wanneer vat ons kontak. So ja, nee, dit is baie nice om terug te wees op die veld.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, after a while of just being in the gym, doing some CrossFit, it's good to be back on the green field. I mean, we're privileged to be doing that, you know. A lot of people are suffering out there, people are dying every day, and we get to still live the dream of being on the rugby field and just doing what we love. I think we must all credit to our management staff for giving us the opportunity to be on the field. And I think a lot of the guys are are excited to be on the field. I mean, you know, it's like a stop stand. One minute you're playing, next minute lockdown. Can't really do much indoors, doing some workouts, but it's not the same like being outside on the field. So yeah, we just grateful that we on the field, and I mean, look, we have our coaches out there, players out there. I mean, we have good numbers for like our third week going on outside on the field, and we're just building with numbers. So I think that we're in the right space at the moment.
Toe ons 'n paar weke terug op die veld kom vir die eerste keer. Ek moet sê, dis 'n anderste gevoel soos jy sê, die lockdown het 'n mens beet en die voete voel swaar op die pitch, maar dis lekker. Dis 'n regtig ware voorreg. En ja, ek sê bly almal kan hier wees en almal is gesond. Nee, definitief. Ek dink veral met die mental state, soos jy sê, ek meen almal is in lockdown. Ek meen oefening help maar vir enigiets. Jy weet self as kinders met Joel of as mans met vir rugby speel, ek meen dit help met die mental state en definitief met die kameraderie. En ek meen as ons eerste game kan kom volgende jaar en almal alles gaan goed, dan is die broederskap in die core hierso en dan kan ons vorentoe beweeg van daar af. Nee, hats off to die management en almal by die klub. Ek meen om soveel effort in te sit vir die CrossFit, vir hierdie movements. Ek meen dit vat 'n team effort en soos jy sê, dit help ook baie met injury prevention in die toekoms. En soos jy sê, wanneer ons veld toe kom, as dit nie so lank voor jou voete vind op die veld nie. So ek dink dit help baie en hats off to die Animal familie.
Yeah, they were very excited to play again, and we were fortunate to squeeze in a couple games. We had a game against Durban quite a while back, and then we also had games against Goodwood, NTK, and you can see the boys loved it. When everything got called off, you could also see the disappointment, and I think that's kind of stayed with a lot of players. Which has been getting them back a little bit more difficult. So that's why we try to mix things up and have one CrossFit and one field session per week. And the field sessions have become quite popular. We've also got our under-20s training on the top field and the seniors down on our main pitch. And it's getting more and more popular as the weeks go by and the numbers drop. And players seem to be getting a lot more comfortable with being around each other and coming back into the practice environment. I think we've said it for a while now that we're focusing on the person before the player, and we're very aware that the boys need to blow off a little bit of steam. You know, they haven't had a long competitive season for 18 months maybe. So number one, it's about keeping the doors open of the club. Number two, it's about providing an opportunity for the boys to blow off a bit of steam and to see their mates again and to have a bit of fun. And you can see when we're training, it's, you know, we give them the opportunity to come up with games and make rules and, you know, just to give them a bit more ownership. And the guys that are coming down are really enjoying it. And then we've also got plans to introduce a little internal tournament, just to give them a little bit of competition. And it seems like that should be quite a popular event. You don't often get time in the pre-season and the in-season to work on things you really want to work on. And so we've started looking at a lot of prehab exercises, a lot of body movement and body shape exercises that they can use away from the club. You're not going to get a lot done in one session. So we're trying to teach them and educate them in ways where they can go and do their own training away from the club that will benefit them on the pitch. So rugby specific movements, looking at those muscle groups, and hopefully that will pay dividends when the season comes around, hopefully next year. Yeah, I think it's important to be creative and inventive with your training. As you pointed out, it's a long pre-season. And it's probably the third pre-season in a row without a proper competitive league. So, you know, you can't keep doing the same old thing. I think players will get bored, they won't develop, and I'm not too sure if they'll lose interest, but I'm not too sure if they'll be the best that they can be. So we're having to really think hard about introducing new practices, new exercises, new games, to keep them enthused. because like I said, it's a long pre-season and roll on January, and if we've been going since June, July maybe, we don't want them to be stale in January. So yeah, it's keeping us on our toes, which is great for us.
So Unimil staying active, great to see the players back in the park, and great to see what their focus is, that they're focusing on the players, keeping them active, getting them back in the park. And I love the idea that the club, Gareth and his team, are busy engaging with the players and getting their input on the activity, and that really is fantastic. But yeah, also some creative functional training there, so really good news for Unimil, and we're so excited to see players training again. They're smiling, they're putting the boots on. It's really great to know that our players are at the end of a hard day's work or whatever it is that they're doing, that they're able to get on the park and just socialize, and as Gareth said, let off a little bit of steam. And I think that's what rugby does for so many of us. Right, folks, well, as you know, on a weekly basis, we give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. So right there, you see it on the screen behind me right now, Score energy drinks. Now, if you want to win yourself this case of Score energy drinks, as well as a set of masks, courtesy of CTC Sports, then all you need to do is visit our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, and go and take a look at our weekly Spot the Logo competition. At the moment, it's still pretty easy, where we take a logo on a weekly basis, and we give you an opportunity to guess the logo. We take the club logo, we make a few changes, and then, of course, we have some fun and ask you if you are able to recognize the logo. So last week's logo was, of course, Tygerberg Rugby Football Club, which is, I think, pretty recognizable considering the Tita logo is front and center. And if you don't know that logo, well, you probably haven't been following club rugby. Congratulations then to last week's winner, Kevin Hindley. Kevin, you spotted the logo correctly and guessed that it was Tygerberg Rugby Football Club. You are this week's winner of a case of Score energy drinks, as well as a set of Cape Rugby TV masks, courtesy of CTC Sports. We're going to reach out to you on Facebook Messenger, Kevin, and you'll be able to come and collect your prize. Right, folks, we'll take a break now, and when we come back from the break, it's, of course, Fora up against Police. They were playing over the weekend. Very exciting. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking club rugby. Nice to have you watching. Don't forget, you can, of course, join us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Come say hello. Take a look out for some of the competitions that we are running there. Of course, as you know, on a weekly basis, we run the Score energy drinks competition with the Spot the Logo competition. And we'll tell you more about that a little bit later during the course of the show. Well, last week I got a message from Jacobus Fransel, who said, can we please come out at some other stage and film the Fora game? And of course, we knew that Fora was playing against Police this past weekend. So my immediate answer was, yes, we will be there. And so this is our highlights game for the weekend. It was Fora up against Police. We managed to get the match highlights and, of course, catch up with some of the players and with Jacobus Fransel himself. And he tells us a little bit about the fact that, well, of course, the rugby is exciting. They're happy to be playing rugby. But just how very keen the players are to make sure that he stays at the club and carries on coaching the club. And that's really great news. See for yourself.
Yeah, we spoke last week and then we said we are sleeping. It's our first game of the season after the lockdown. Now we can see that the guys are coming back on track. They really want to play. And then we go, as I told you last week, as we gel together, we're going to play well. Because I can see now the guys that came through to our squad, they are really hungry to play. They're really hungry to present us. So we're going to get together well. I'm failing to understand what's wrong with us because we're really, when we're starting, we are cold. I don't know how can we break that ice so that we can get from the first whistle, then we play well. I don't know how we can do that, but we're gonna try and make it on the practice field, work on our defense, because the thing that is letting us down now at the moment is the defense. I'm happy with how we attack, I'm happy with how we run, we flow the ball, the securing of the maul, the securing of the ruck. I'm happy with that. So as time goes, I think we're gonna be getting better and better on our defense. For not playing for the whole year, and the guys will rust. That's definitely sure we're gonna rust. But now we are playing in, week out. We can see that we're getting better. Then that's what is gonna help us. Hence, I've told you last week, if we're gonna play week in, week out, we're gonna be playing better and better, and then we're gonna improve our weaknesses and then keep on staying on our strong points, because I've asked the guys to stick on what we do most and do good on that one. We've done well, we've scored tries, but we failed to defend, because we can see that whenever we are trying to get back into the game, the guys are panicking, and then we're gonna make silly mistakes. But if we can start from the beginning, then I think we will be able to win these games, because it's only minor mistake that we're making. But with the playing week in, week out, there is improvement on the game.
Ja nee, dis korrek. Ons het baie min tyd gehad om te voorberei vir die game self. Even self die week ook. Dit is 'n bietjie soms moeilik want die protocols en plekke maak dit baie difficult soms om te kan oefen as 'n span. Maar ons het opgedag en die ouens het weer gejol. Ja nee, dit is so. As jy al ouens wat gespeel het, definitief 'n beter game as laasweek. Wat ons kan vandag gesien het is dat die ouens mekaar begin vind, en ek dink hoe meer is op die veld is om te speel, is waar ons mekaar regtig vind, en die rugby 4-4 op die einde van die dag. Nommer 1 is maak nie saak met wie jy speel nie. Maak nie saak wat jou agtergrond is nie, maar as jy op die veld kom en rugby is in jou bloed, dan kom dit links en regs uit. Op die einde van die dag is maar soos ek sê, hoe meer jy speel, hoe beter gaan ons mekaar verstaan, hoe beter gaan ons mekaar vind, en daai besluite wat soms kritiek is in die game, wat 'n mens sonder oogwink kan net uitvoer sonder om nog te dink, en dan jol is lekker saam op die einde van die dag.
Ik denk baie manne die in die begin van die jaar wat die rugby weer oopgegaan het en wat die rugby weer toegegaan het, die manne se moet 'n bietjie gesak, en die manne het gesê hulle gaan nie worry nie meer om te speel nie, maar toe kom WP weer en sê ons kan weer begin oefen en weer begin friendly speel, en die manne was weer 'n bietjie honger weer vir rugby. Forrie is 'n span, is 'n mooi spangees by Forrie, en die ouens verstaan mekaar, en op die oefenveld is dit maar net ons gee vir mekaar, die laaste man buitekant nie langs aan hom, maar ek dink maar net ons geniet maar die oefeninge, en ek dink dieselfde, die een verloor teen Kraaifontein, het ons maar net weer 'n motivasie gegee om weer eens reg te maak daar wat ons verkeerd gemaak het. Ja nee, ek dink as lekker om elke week rugby te speel, die ouens sien uit om elke game te wen, elke naweek, en ons motivation is om al die teams te kan klop, verstaan, maar dit is nie maklik nie. Al wat ons moet doen, ons moet maar net weer terugkom op die oefenveld. Dus ek vandag gesien het, ons het in die eerste helfte het ons lekker gespeel, maar in die tweede helfte het ons 'n bietjie uitgesak, en daar wat ons nou uitgesak het, moet ons net weer regmaak.
Op die stadium, ja, nogals vir 'n coach vir die eerste jaar wat ek hoofcoach is van die klub, is 'n baie goeie gevoel teen teams soos Blue Jays wat byvoorbeeld Superliga C speel. Ek het 'n goeie game gehad teen hulle, en vandag was dit ook 'n baie goeie game teen Police geweest. So ek moet sê die kompetisie is nog nie klaar nie, so ek gaan nie sê ek is nog klaar nie. So vir my is dit nog klop nog op 0. Natuurlik ja, vir die players is nog as baie interessant geweest. Ons weet die players was nie lete geweest om op die veld te kan wees van was die games geweest. Maar vanuit die games opgemaak, ek moet net sê, joh, ek het my hande vol op die veld as dit kom by die players. En die players is open net te gesê van daar is die rugby vir die players geweest. Dit is 'n pre-season vir my en terselfdertyd is dit 'n goeie bou vir my vir die tyd wat kom as ons off-season gaan ek 'n bou so ek het nou genoeg gebou, nie players gekry dat ek weet wat vir my gesê coach, ek gaan nêrens nie. Ek bly net hier so. So dis 'n goeie gevoel vir my.
Welcome back, folks. Right. Absolutely amazing. Great to see that there's rugby again for at least 4 of them there against Police. Fantastic weather on Saturday, and kudos to both sides. The results, again, for us, not so important, but the fact that the players were able to train and now play this past weekend, and that's really good. So to Jacobus Franco and his squad, well done, guys, and we'll of course keep following your progress. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we go behind the scenes at False Bay Rugby Football Club, catch up with some of their training, where we speak to Thabo Nkonga, Luke Jacobs, as well as of course assistant coach Morgan Newman. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Right, it's Cape Rugby TV, as you know, of course, every week. And for those of you who haven't been watching the show for a while, you'll know that we've managed to do a couple of interviews with False Bay Rugby Football Club. Jonathan Avalt, of course, keeping everybody busy there. And for those of you that don't know, old Cape Rugby TV stalwart Morgan Newman has joined at False Bay, is now assistant coach there. We went out to False Bay to catch up with some of the players at training. We managed to speak to Thabo Nkonga, Luke Jacobs, and the man himself, Morgan Newman.
It has been a challenge in various departments, but one thing that we have looked to do is keep the CrossFit going, because we have seen the benefits in that. As players, yes, it does get a bit tough, but at the end of it, a few months down the line, or whenever we come back to like a pre-season or back on the field, you can definitely see the difference between the guys that have been consistently training and the guys that haven't been training. So yeah, it's a nice thing to have at the club. When Western Province came back and told us that rugby would be cancelled this year, I know the coaches tried to find out if we could play a few warm-up games, and it didn't quite work out. So then we were left with a situation where we had all these players that had been training for a couple of months and there was no one to play. So we took about a month to make the decision, and myself and co-club captain Henry came up with the idea of doing this internal competition. We basically ran it like a draft system, a lot of trial and error things, but I think it's come out pretty well. Guys have bought into it, guys have gone into their little teams, and yeah, there seems to be some good gears back at the Bay. We always say that there's different types of people that come down to clubs, and we always worry. Our biggest worry was that if we went quiet and we closed our doors, guys would find other things to do, and some guys would get comfortable being at home, not being at the field, and then getting them back to the field becomes a challenge. So we thought, again, like I said, we had to become very creative in our thinking, and we thought of coming up with another way of, even though it's social, it still allows the guys to come down, play, gives you that break away from whatever you do on the side. If it's work, studying, you get the opportunity to come down to the field and throw the ball around with your mates.
Yeah, I think, we pride ourselves heavily on culture in this club. So staying connected is a massive thing for us. A lot of guys get their places of work from this club. The networking skills here are amazing. The culture, the vibe, it's huge at this rugby club. So to be able to come down here and like we always say, it's not only about a rugby club. It's not only about playing rugby. There's more to this club than that. So coming down to CrossFit, coming down to training, it's actually an easy environment for us to come down to. Yeah, I mean, it's lekker for the guys to get back out here and have some fun. For us, it's like we said, it's a massive opportunity to be back on the field. 2 years without rugby, we played 1 or 2 friendlies in between the years. But for us, just to relish this opportunity to get back onto the field is huge. Once again, it brings new players in. It brings current players in. It's keeping the culture going, keeping what we as a club stand for, which is really important for us. I think exactly that. I think in terms of the TENS tournament, it brings a lot of sort of different faces, new faces, old faces, different cultures, different backgrounds, which is so important for us. As a club, we're always looking to expand. We're always looking to develop, we're always looking to grow. So this has just come at the right time for us as players. So super happy with the initiative, super happy with what the club has done. We've thought outside the box, and we're doing something really good for our club.
No, it's crazy. I actually played a game last week Thursday, and it was just weird to put the boots on. It's weird to get in the car, and it's weird to finish work and drive off and see 22 other guys and get ready for a rugby game. And that's what's lekker about this tournament for the next few weeks. And I mean, you can see by the amount of people here, it's actually tough to keep a hold on the numbers here at the moment. I mean, it's crazy, but my hat goes off to our coaching staff, Jonathan van der Walt, and he's always that guy who's messaging players directly, privately, just basically telling them to be better in the best possible way. But it's just staying connected. I mean, we've all obviously had 18 months of just being disconnected from what we normally do every January to August every year. So it's been great to still stay connected. It's been great to have an avenue to, even if we're just meeting for touch rugby, even if we're just meeting for CrossFit. I wasn't at CrossFit, I can tell you that for free. But it's been nice, and that's why this tournament coming up it's quite lekker. We've obviously had one session already and got a good few weeks to come, so it's a lot of fun. Well, I mean, we've had an embarrassment of riches for the last few years. We've been able to operate squads from first team all the way up to the sixth team, under 20s. So to be able to you largely see yourself sort of staying to your squad throughout the normal rugby season, and this is great because I'm playing with first team members, third team members, fourth team members, sixth team members. The fifths are training for their own Rebel Cup. So obviously I play second team, so it's nice to, even under 20s are joining us, so it's been quite cool to obviously meet people that you won't necessarily spend Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday with, but we're all sort of part of the same club, which has been quite great. Also, people have just been coming out the woodwork wanting to play rugby, so that's also been quite cool to even just meet more people, and hopefully they stick around for pre-season next year.
Yeah, you know, with the year that we've had, or the couple of years that we've had, obviously just fantastic to see the boys down, you know. So many rugby players, everyone hungry to play rugby, everyone hungry to get involved in some small way. So some guys are playing, some guys are just here down to enjoy the vibe. But I think, you know, to keep the club going, we need to make sure that we see the faces, familiar faces on a Monday and a Thursday. And the club has done fantastically well to do that. I mean, to have over 100 players register for a internal TENS tournament has been fantastic, and kudos to Forceplay for really putting it together and putting together such a spectacle. I mean, the boys are excited to play. As you can see, there were 4 teams training tonight. Everybody really just excited to get down again on Thursday. Results for my team didn't go our way necessarily. 1 out of 2, which is not too bad considering, but I expect us to improve as the tournament goes along. I think that's what False Bay has done extremely well. You know, they have taken the true essence of what it means to be a club, and that is in essence to serve the community in which it's placed. And the boys come down every Monday, Thursday. The CrossFit's still happening on a Tuesday. The boys are seeing each other. They're spending time together, and that's the most important thing. You know, your rugby is not necessarily the be-all and end-all of this club. I think the camaraderie and the boys wanting to be together is what keeps this club such a happy family. And I think, you know, we've seen it now. We've seen how much players are down here, whether you're injured or not. They come down, they enjoy the vibe. They're coming to watch a bit of tens on a Thursday evening. And yeah, and it's just been really fantastic to all the role players that have put this together. You know, the club captain, Thabo, was one of the big role players in terms of making sure this tournament runs smoothly. And the rest comes from the players. You know, the guys have decided that we want to do this, and they're doing it extremely well. So long may it continue, and I think it may attract a lot of players from other clubs that are just, you know, have closed their doors for the year. And players are looking for a place to go and enjoy, you know, a cool drink with their friends and maybe throw the ball around. And this club has opened its doors to that, and kudos to them for doing that. Yeah, without a doubt, you know, this can only be beneficial on a number of different levels. Fitness, a big one. You know, I think this club will, without a doubt, have a head start on every other club that's closed their doors over this period of time. You know, players are staying fit. I mean, there's little internal competitions the club is running from a CrossFit point of view. Obviously, the tens is another internal competition. So this club is in extremely good hands, and I think it's run extremely well. And it's just great to be a part of it. I think a lot of other clubs can learn from what False Bay has done in terms of, you know, serving these players, making sure their doors are open, they have a place to come to, they have a place to call home. And yeah, I mean, it's great to see, and hopefully this tens competition will culminate in something really exciting.
Great stuff. Great to see the players active, and of course that's as we know, False Bay doesn't stop. They never stop, as in their words, they've got too much gees. But folks, yeah, great to see that the likes of False Bay are keeping their players active. We know that they've also got some creative events happening. Their women's side is doing really well, and we know that they're also busy with a tens format, an internal tens format. But really is good to see that players are on the field and enjoying themselves. Folks, that's a wrap from us this evening. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.